What's up, guys? UFC 314 is going down tonight. I cannot wait for these fights. I'm hyped. It's been a while, right? It's been a while, bro, since we've had some good quality MMA cards. I mean, there's been a lot of trash cards lately. So I'm going to give you all my predictions for the main card, just the main card. I'm not watching the prelims. What do y'all think I am? A hardcore fan? No, but in all seriousness, I got to work today. By the time I get off, the fights will already be starting. I might be able to, I'm looking through the card right here. I might be able to jump in at that Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper fight. Chase Hooper, our massive favorite in this fight, bro. Massive. He started off as a negative 600. It's moved to a negative 800. So I'm not going to give y'all any advice on bets or gambling or anything like that. But it might be a good idea to throw a little something Jim Miller's way. You never know. The old dog might still have some new tricks. Anyway, we're going to break down the main card. Let's start at the opening fight with Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. This one's a tough one for me, bro, because let's see, who is the favorite? The favorite here is Nikita Krylov, but not by much. A negative 180. The thing is, Krylov has had a 2-year layoff. 2 years is a long time, bro. He really probably needed a little bit easier fight to step back in there. The thing with Reyes, bro, is I just don't trust his chin. He's a great fighter. I would love to see him make a run and get another title shot. That would be amazing. But it's hard, bro. It's hard when you see fighters lose, like, by devastating fashion. That Yuri Prohaska knockout was so brutal, bro. And then follow it up with the Ryan Spann knockout. It was just so brutal. And you see a guy get just slept like that. It's kind of hard to imagine them getting back on track, even though you see them get a few wins, which in itself is amazing, bro. We don't talk about this enough. And we'll actually talk about it later in the main event with Volk. When guys lose by knockout like this, bro, especially twice, I mean, it's the same thing. Volk is going through the same thing Dominic Reyes went through on a, much larger scale. But yeah, you lose twice by knockout, bro. The odds of coming back and getting a win, they drop drastically, bro. It just doesn't happen very often. Sometimes guys get caught early in their careers, like Islam, and they can, bounce back and, make it work. But it's going to be a tough one for Reyes, man, because I just don't know if he can take the shots. That's the problem. But I definitely will be rooting for him. Man, that's a tough one, bro. I kind of want to go with Nikita Krylov, but the 2-year layoff throws me off too. I'm going to go with Reyes, bro. I'm going to go with Reyes. I want him to win, and he's going to be my pick. So let's go with Reyes there. Next fight. This is probably the people's main event. Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva. This fight is just like got everybody hyped. Whether you like Bryce, whether you hate Bryce, whether you like Gene. I'm not even going to get into all that, bro. All I'm going to say is, if it hits the ground, Bryce Mitchell has a massive advantage over Gene. I'm calling him Gene again, bro. I called this man Gene for like his first 3 fights in the UFC. Jean. Like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like Jean-Jacques Machado. It's Jean. So, Jean Silva. My bad, bro. Jean Silva. If it hits the ground, I see Bryce submitting him. I see him putting him to sleep. It could be pretty nasty. He could even hold on to that choke for a little longer. Who knows? But on the feet, Jean has probably an even bigger advantage. Jean probably has an even bigger advantage on the feet. And he is so athletic, so explosive. This dude is nasty, bro. I've actually been kind of picturing a flying knee. He actually has flying knee knockouts on his record. If Bryce shoots him for a takedown at the wrong time, Bryce isn't the most athletic, at least on the feet. It's weird, man, when these grapplers, it hits the ground and they're like wizards on the ground, but you see them on the feet and it's just, But I mean, Bryce isn't the worst. We've seen worse strikers on the feet, right? We've definitely seen worse. He can, kind of hang in there. But Jean Silva has a massive advantage in the stand-up. This is a tough one too. You got Jean Silva as a negative 278 favorite. Man, I'm going to go Bryce by submission. I'm not going to go against the Lord on this one, bro. He's got the Lord on his side. And, yeah, I just think he has a big advantage if he can get him down. And I did some tape study. Jean Silva has been taken down, bro. He's been taken down. And guys have put some work in on the ground against my boy. So if it goes to the ground with Bryce, he may be in some serious trouble. But can Bryce even get it there? That's the question. This is a tough one, bro. I go back and forth on this one. But my final pick, I'm going to go Bryce Mitchell, round 1 submission. The first fight, Dominic Reyes, I don't think I made an actual pick. I'm going to go Reyes by decision. Next fight, Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. This is a good one, bro. I really wish Patricio Pitbull had came in the UFC 3-4 years ago. It sucks when you get a guy at the tail end of their career, bro. This guy's had amazing fights throughout his career. If you've never seen Pitbull fight, go back and watch some of his highlights. This man is a true MMA veteran, bro. He really is. Don't let the not fighting in the UFC fool you, because he has fought UFC caliber opponents over the years. He's good. But the last few years he's had several losses. He's been stopped several times. He can always catch you, bro. And Yair does get hit. He does get hit. If he cracks Yair, he could 100% knock him out. But I do think Yair is just a little bit too dynamic. This could be a highlight knockout for Yair. I'm going to go with Yair. He is well, that's strange. There's no odds on this fight. That's really weird. I'm on the UFC's official website. Let's refresh this. Still no odds for this fight. What's going on? Why is there no odds for Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull? Anyway, I'm going to go with Yair. That's strange, bro. Why is there no odds for that one? Anyway, Yair Rodriguez. Let's go round 2 knockout. In our co-main event, I'm really hyped for this fight. And, dude, a lot of these fights, I've gone back and forth. Actually, every single fight on the main card, I've gone back and forth on. I've picked one guy. The next day, I'll pick another guy. I mean, that's when you know you got some really, really good fights, bro. Some close fights. It's very hard to predict some of these. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. There's times where I've thought about this fight, man, and I've thought, there's no way Paddy's going to be able to stand with him at all on the feet. If Chandler cracks Paddy Pimblett in the first round, it's going to be bad, bro. It's going to be bad. Now, I could see him cracking him if you don't put him out, because Paddy does have a good chin. Them getting into some scrambles on the ground. Chandler is very hard to submit, though, bro. People forget, man. People forget that, bro. People forget, man. Michael Chandler's only been submitted once, and it was by Dustin Poirier, of all people. I say of all people because Dustin rarely gets submissions. But Chandler's been in there with Oliveira twice. He's been in there with some really, really tough grapplers, bro, and he hasn't been submitted. Now, I will say Paddy has youth on his side, and his jiu-jitsu's a little different, bro. It seems like when it hits the ground, he has some moves that a lot of guys maybe haven't seen before, or they're not used to. I'll put it like that. If it goes to the ground, I could see Paddy putting Chandler to sleep, and I could see Chandler possibly not even tapping, getting put out similar to Bobby Green. So I'm going to go Paddy Pimblett, round 2 submission. But I could see Chandler cracking him really at any point in the fight. You got to remember, bro, this is a 5-round fight, and Chandler carries that power into the 5th round. We've seen it. So it's a tough one, bro, but I'm going to go Paddy, round 2 submission. Main event time, bro. For all the marbles, this is another tough one. Alexander Volkanovski, trying to do what no fighter's done before, bro. 2 stoppage losses to come back and win a title in the same weight class. It's only been done one other time. That was Randy Couture. But he had to change weight classes, and it was for interim. Now, I do got to note this. Randy did go on to fight Tito to win the Undisputed. But it was in a different weight class, different era, different skill sets, bro. Featherweight, comparing featherweight to light heavyweight, there's just no comparison. So what Volk is attempting is exponentially harder, bro. It's going to be very hard. Anytime I really try to like look and break down this fight, Volkanovski is just better in almost every area, except maybe the power. He is the overall better fighter, bro. But age is no joke. Age is no joke. Coming off 2 stoppage losses. So every time I go to break down this fight, it's kind of like there's just this great equalizer of, yeah, but he's over 35 and he's been stopped twice, bro. I've seen it. I've been watching this sport a long time, guys. I've seen it time and time and time and time again. When these guys get knocked out, especially towards the end of the career, they just can't get a win after that, bro. They just hardly ever get a win after that. Now, I will say this. If anybody could do it, it would be Alexander Volkanovski. He could pull it off. He could. But it's going to be a tall order, bro. His chin's got to hold up. And Diego Lopez is fast and ruthless in that first round. Really in the whole fight, but in the first round, bro, this man is dangerous. And when he hurts someone, go back and watch that stoppage versus Sadiq Yusuf. When he hurt, Sadiq really was, he was rocked, but he wasn't out of it. He wasn't out of it. He was trying to get back up, but Diego would not give him an inch. He just refused to let him get back in that fight. And I just feel like Volk's chin's compromised, bro. It's compromised. I've seen it over and over, and it makes them fight differently. Not always, but most of the time. I talked about it earlier in the video. When guys get knocked out, they rarely come back to put on winning streaks. You know, I only seen it a few times. You see like Stipe get knocked out by DC, then come back in the next fight and he wins by knockout. Rose, she got finished by Andrade. She came back and won the rematch. Poirier back in the day got knocked out by I'm drawing a blank. Who Poirier get knocked out by? Back in the day. Not Bobby Green. Bro, I'm drawing a blank. Michael Johnson. He knocked out Dustin Poirier back in the day. And a lot of times you see a knockout like that and guys just can't get wins again. But Poirier did. Not only did he come back, he won interim. He knocks guys out. Like, you just don't see it often when a guy gets knocked out for him to come back and finish guys in his next fights. It just rarely happens. If you throw it in that it's at the end of the career, I mean, it's just almost impossible, bro. And I hate to do it. I'm rooting for Volk. I really am. But I'm going to have to pick Diego Lopez. It's just, if history's taught us anything, bro, Volk's going to have a hard time. He's going to have a hard time. And he may have all the confidence in the world, but once he gets cracked, we'll see. We'll see. We get to find out. That's the beautiful part about this sport. We're going to find out. And I really am rooting for Volkanovski. I really hope he can get that belt. The thing is, he gets that belt, you know he's going to want to keep fighting over and over and over, and eventually he will lose. So I really wish he could get that belt, surprise everyone, and be like, all right, that's it, guys. I'm done. Peace. That's all I wanted. All I wanted to do was show y'all I still had it. But if I stick around much longer, I'm going to start losing again. Like, it's just inevitable, bro. So I'm hyped for these fights. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know y'all's picks down below. I might go live. We'll think about it. Maybe not. But, yeah. I'll see y'all next time. Enjoy the fights.